YouTube as well as on Facebook. You guys can also post questions directly here. I hope you guys are able to see me properly. So first, I'm going to start with my TikTok family. All right. So I've got these questions that lots of questions have already come in. I'm going to answer some big questions in the beginning. Sam is asking motor mechanic in SA 0.75, 3 years of full-time work experience. What are the chances for 190? Sam, motor mechanic at 75, I believe in this group or in this category, you would have lots of other people with the similar points. You really need to understand if you have been working for last 3 years, if your wage is above 80 plus, and if your profile is good enough for 190. So strong employment is important. But at the same time, because there are so many people whose visa is running out, you may also want to consider even 491. That might get a better outcome for you if you target 491. So here we have kind of a situation where in one way, if you go for 491, you may have better options. However, at the same time, you think, oh, some people are getting for 190 as well. But every person's profile is different. Their level of English is different. Their wage is different. The kind of employee you're working for is different. So if you think your employment is very, very strong, and if your visa is valid for next 6 to 8 months, I would wait with 190. Okay, because in South Australia, we have more places for 190 than 491 this financial year. So they are going to give all those 190 invites. However, they will make sure they give it to the most deserving people. Okay. So lots of questions are coming. Guys, please stay with me. I'm taking most of the questions on YouTube. So please bring all the questions to YouTube. But I'm also taking questions in between from TikTok as well if I don't have much to do there. Muhammad Azim, I think that's a question on YouTube. Salo sir, I have applied for student visa and received a request for medical examination on the same day that I applied. So when I receive a request for the medical examination, I schedule one. Yes, absolutely. So generally, when you lodge a student visa while you're onshore, most of the times you're going to get automatic request for health examination. So we call it Section 56. They require you to respond to that request within 28 days. Okay, so 28 days means even if you're booking your health examination 28 days after, that's fine. But as long as you supply some kind of evidence to the case officer that your health examination is booked, not necessarily that you are required to do the health examination within 28 days, because most times you don't get dates to get an examination. So in that case, you would it would be good if you're able to at least provide them evidence that it is booked if it is beyond 28 days. We have seen case officers are refusing visa applications because people did not complete their health examination on time or within that 28 days. So it is so easy being in 80, but again, it increases your cost. So please make sure you follow what I have just mentioned to manage your situation. By the way, your agent who assisted you in the student visa application would be the person helping you with all that. But yes, that's how it is. Sometimes agents don't care what you guys do. So that's why it is important to choose an agent who is honest, ethical, and transparent in their approach. Okay. Sagar Karki was asking, is there any essay invitation round, any idea? So Sagar, South Australia does not have a specific time for giving invitations. Most of the times they give invites on day-to-day basis. So they give invites to people, every now and then. There's no specific duration in South Australia. So I believe South Australia has a very good, strong team working on this area, in the area where they give invites. So they keep on looking at new ROIs and potential ROIs and things like that, and keep giving them invites on a regular basis. Kayur Vyas is asking, what is the processing time for 186 direct entry? Kayur, so processing times for 186 direct entry, the last time when I checked, it was roughly 6 or 7 months. It can even take 8 or 9 months, or sometimes even longer. Okay. So Muhammad Azim on YouTube, I have answered your question. Now, next question was there on Anjali Kapoor. Anjali was asking, "Hello sir, I am a marketing specialist from India. My points are 90 for 491. I'm unable to get superior English. Always miss 1 or 2 points. Can I expect invite?" Anjali Kapoor, yes, you can. Look at 90 points. Lots of people are waiting in the marketing specialist area. So getting a superior English would always increase your chances. If you're missing out your score for 1 or 2 marks, I would recommend you to stay motivated and stay committed. Once you get your 79 plus PT, it is going to put you on top tier, and you would have the best chances of being accepted. Okay. Not that for so current financial year, the number of places are limited in the state nomination quota. So if the number of places increase next financial year, obviously they're going to invite lots of people from offshore as well. Manjot is saying how to add pre-study experience in my EOI as ROI without claiming points to show consistency with my employment document. Should I add the mark that period non-relevant to? Doesn't really matter. So if you have any pre-study experience, you can enter the experience, and you can write it is not related to your field of study. So that means it doesn't count the points. So if it doesn't count points, it's all good. Wouldn't make a lot of difference even if you enter that experience or even if you don't enter that experience. But if it is, I would recommend, if it is a related occupation, if your previous work experience is related to your current study or your EOI or your skills assessment, then you should put there, even though it is you're not claiming points. So you can take no to that box. Okay, so many people on both sides. So guys, I'm going to do my best to answer every question. So I'm going to take one question from TikTok. I'm going to take one question from YouTube and Facebook. I know a lot of people are just able to see me on TikTok and can't come on Facebook or YouTube. I'll try to help you guys as much as I can from myself. But let's do a little bit of housekeeping. So when you post your question, please give me as much as information as possible in just one line. And please do not post the same question again and again, and give me some time to pick your question for answering. Some questions or some comments does not have anything for me to speak because they are too generic or too simple. And I also want to let all of you guys know that any information that we share on our social media platforms is generic only. It may not directly apply to your individual circumstances. If you're looking to get your profile assessed for any potential visa in Australia, you would be required to book appointment with us, and you can do so by visiting our website at www.eems.com.au. All those details are available on TikTok profile or on other social media profiles. Okay. So that was a question from Komal. Komal is asking, Komal Chetri is asking, sir, I am working in my nominated field but in Melbourne. So for 491 ROI, should I put my annual salary or put 0 in annual earning and hours worked and write no for nominated work question? Look, if you're talking about just ROI, yes, in ROI you can put 0. And if you're talking about EOI, then in EOI things work differently depending upon whether you're claiming experience for your work in Australia or not. So both things are different. Komal, rather than you doing it yourself, I would recommend you to please hire a registered migration agent, because these things are very, very critical. It can make or break the game. On social media, because I only know this much of your scenario, I really cannot recommend much. But I would recommend you hire a migration agent, an ethical, honest, and transparent migration agent who actually then does do your work, sends you all the information, and makes all the due and diligent checks on your profile before lodging your file. So all the best. If you need us to assist you in this process, we can do so as well. You can reach out to us on 0452169200, or simply book appointment. Okay. Rajiv Behal. Rajiv Behal is asking, hello sir, can I claim work experience where I go salary in cash? I worked for 1.5 years as a company salary in cash. Obviously you can't. Any work experience which you cannot document, if you don't have pay slips, if you don't have salary coming in the bank account, if you don't have employment contract, you can't generally use it for claiming work experience, because you won't be able to justify it. If you're not able to justify it, that means your visa application can be refused, for that matter. Okay, guys, if you're watching my live for the first time, I would love to introduce to all of you. My name is Mahinder Singh and I'm a registered migration agent. I'm based in Adelaide, South Australia. My company's name is Endeavour Education and Migration Services. Some people also have similar name at some other places, but we are different. My company's registered name is Endeavour Group of Companies Pty Limited, and we only have one office, and that's in Adelaide. We serve all the clients throughout Australia and even overseas just from our Adelaide office. So you can reach out to us on +6145216920. That's our phone number. It is also available on WhatsApp, and we also have social media profile. If you look at Australian Visa Matters, that's our YouTube, and Endeavour Education and Migration Services is our Facebook. But in future, I am thinking of tweaking our name, so it is not similar to other companies that are working in the similar area, and we do not have any other any that kind of intention to. San is saying, any hope for RN at NEC 190 Victoria, 70 points, working in the same field, and a skilled partner. I really can't say much about San because there are lots of RNs working in Victoria. If you want, I can have a quick look. Just give us a minute, guys. So there are so many people who are posting the question again and again. Guys, I'm not taking most of the questions on TikTok today. Please bring all the questions to YouTube or on Facebook. I'm available on YouTube as well as on Facebook, so it is much easier for us to display your question on the screen. When we answer your question, others also can see the information. Okay, especially we have started doing this for Fridays live shows only. Now, Rinchan, if you ask that same question again and again, it is not going to put me in the right frame of mind. So please don't post the same question again and again, thinking that I would answer your question first. No, I won't. If you annoy me, then I would probably hold off answering that question, even though your question is very interesting. Okay, so if you don't post this question for another 5 minutes, then probably I'll pick your question for answering. So please help me in manage these comments. We want to, my intention is to deliver our live shows in a way that you get something out of it. Okay, not just that I'm talking and you're listening. It is just one-way communication. I want all of you guys to learn something from this, and that is the whole purpose of doing these live shows. Okay, so I'm just going to show you registered nurses, and I'm going to show you how many backlog we are looking at for registered nurses, NEC. So I'm going to show you on my screen here. Okay, here. So this gives us a little bit of information about the number of EYs in Victoria for RNs. So you can see in Victoria as a registered nurse NEC. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Just let me check. Yes, here. And just give me 1 second. I have to remove my screen from the background to that screen. Okay, hey. So you can see on the screen, there are roughly 1,500 expression of interest for 194 registered nurses in Victoria. Now, Victoria has, when it comes down to registered nurses, whether they are onshore or offshore, there is no specific preference. Okay, there's no specific preference, and I know there would be lots of these people who would have 1 year experience or 6 months of experience or even longer experience. So if someone has 70 points as RN, and if we consider that Victoria only has, say, 3,000 for 190 and 2,000 for 491 places, it is going to be competitive. So at 70 points, you can see there are over 1,700 people. Now, this data does not commensurate with this data. It does not line up with this data in the column at the bottom. The reason being because in this, there would be lots of people from offshore too. Okay, so so basically, if you are at 70 points as an RN, you are not you're not on the top tier. Okay, but you are somewhere. If I divide all the EOIs in 3 sections, top tier means 80 or 80 plus points, and then so anything between 70 to 80 second, and then less than 70 third. So you are sitting in the second tier basically here. So if they only give say 500 invites, or say 300 or 200 invites, then you may not get selected. But because registered nurses can also be invited at 189. Now 189, if we look at 189 round, registered nurses were invited at 80 points for 189 in the latest round. So if you look at 189 here, so at 80 points we only have 239. So can you imagine if you just increase your points by 5, or even 5 or 10, if whatever is possible, you're going to come here in the top tier for 189. So you may get invited for 189. So please weigh your options and always keep working for your points. That's all my recommendation is for you. All right, so let's look at other questions. A sham rider, sir, what about mechanical engineer? So mechanical engineer, this question is too generic. Manjot Singh, so marking it and non-relevant would be good option if I think for clarity. Marking it as non-relevant, yes, yeah, that's right, yeah. All right, guys, let's continue asking questions. Not many questions are coming on our YouTube and Facebook, so I'll start picking some questions from here on TikTok. So we have user ending with 628 PR pathway from Bachelor in Human and Community Service from Victoria. So if you are studying Bachelor of Human Service, no matter where you are studying, whether you are in South Australia, Victoria, or anywhere in Australia, the career outcome is a community worker or youth worker, or youth worker, community worker, sometimes welfare worker. So these are the occupations you can get skills assessment. You are also eligible for 485 visa as well, but if you're studying within Melbourne, you will only get 2 years of visa for your bachelor's degree. So what is going to be most important here is your just give us a 1 minute, sir. So what is going to be most important here in your case is landing in job after finishing your study, finding relevant job. If you don't have relevant job, then it is difficult to get invited as a community worker or welfare worker. Obviously, points are one thing, but having relevant job is really, really important. So if you land yourself in a job, then one or the other visa option will materialize for you, whether it is 491 or 190. So community worker is not eligible for subclass 189, but you are eligible for 491 and 190 because it is a short-term occupation, or an occupation that appears in short-term list. Hello, sir. I'm leaving. Leaving. I think you wanted to write. You are living, not leaving. You are living in Western Australia. Recently, I finished diploma, contract and design engineer. So, guys, if you are an international student who is about to finish, or you have already finished a course in Australia, this is the best time to seek help from a registered migration agent. So you can also get guidance for your TR, number one, and also have a PR pathway in place. Okay, lots of people lose their game at this stage. You have just completed your studies, or you are about to complete your studies, but you haven't got any plan for your 485 visa. What you are going to do on your 485 visa, and this is important. At this stage, you need to seek help from a registered migration agent. So when you do your 485 visa, we do your 485 visa. We also provide you PR consultation too. So reach out to us if you're in that situation, because getting early on the track is really, really important if you're looking to get permanent residency in Australia. So I had this question from Ravi. Ravi is asking, hi sir, how about painters EOI in 189 and 190 in Victoria? I can have a quick look. Painting trade workers. If you want to see my screen, guys, then please head to my YouTube or Facebook. Facebook is Endeavour Education and Migration Services, and YouTube is Australian visa matters. So I'm showing you the data for EY data for painting trade workers in for 189 and for state wise as well. So lots of painting trade workers were invited for 189 lately. Okay, I had a couple of them. Most of them they had superior English. So for 189 at the moment we only have 630 expression of interest as a painting trade workers. Okay, so that's not a like big number. Anyone who is sitting at 80 plus points would be invited like this if there is any round for painting trade workers in future. And if we talk about Victoria, in Victoria we have 330 people sitting for 190 for as a painting trade worker, and we have 238 in Victoria for 491. Okay, so guys, if you're watching my live for the first time and if you have not hit that follow button so far or subscribe that button so far, this is the time to do so. We conduct these live shows 2 or 3 times in a week, and generally primary language is English, but we are open to taking any questions in Punjabi as well as Hindi. Okay, I can speak Punjabi, Hindi, and English, all these languages very well. All right, so I've got this question coming from Fahad Riyasat. Hi, sir. What is the meaning of tie break month and year in 189? Like cutoff was 90 for plant engineer, but many candidates not invited at these points. So production and plant engineer, again, very, very competitive. So if you were not invited at 90 points, 90 points seem to be on top tier. If there is any room for you to increase maybe 5 more points, go for it. You may get invited, if not this financial year, maybe next financial year. Okay, you may just have to wait. This financial year we have limited quota. If you look at 2022 2023, lots of people got invited. Reason being, we had big number of allocation for states and all that, but this year it is a bit limited, but eventually you'll get invited. Your points seem to be very, very good. Vanessa Winfrey is saying, I just finished Masters in Information Systems. Which course would you advise me to do next for better for PR pathways? So Vanessa, this is the time for you to send us a message on WhatsApp +61 452 169 200. But before that, I would recommend you can send us a message on WhatsApp, but I would ideally recommend you to book appointment, because I need to know your previous background, your previous education, your overseas work experience, if any, your level of English, your financial status, your area of interest, and all those things we need to know before we come to that recommendation for PR pathways. Okay, Vanessa, please book appointment, and you can do so by visiting our website at www.eems.com.au. I would be happy to show you here. So for those who are looking to book a consultation with me, simply you can do so by visiting our at www.eems.com.au. I can show you my screen here as well. There we go. So you're able to see my screen now. So you just click that get consultation button and you fill in your detail, choose the time. We do have weekend and places available, late evening, early morning places for appointment. So choose the time, select online option. If you select online option, you get a Zoom link 15 minutes prior to your consultation. So we can connect on Zoom. Okay, you'll directly talk to me and you'll have half an hour to 45 minutes to discuss your profile with me. Okay. All right, so let's continue with the questions. We still have lots of questions, follow-up questions on, I think, YouTube. So I'll continue with those questions. Could you please check dental technician waiting people in Victoria, please? Okay, yes, dental technician, we can have a quick look. So dental technician in Victoria, again, this occupation would be crowded as well. Not as much as I thought, less than 20 people. So dental technician in Victoria, not too many, less than 20 people. So it's a unique occupation, but would Victoria invite dental technicians or not? That seems to be a very, very important question in your case. If you have not got invited so far, that means they are not considering dental technicians as of now, but you may get invited in future. I would also recommend you think about moving to regional Victoria. If you are not currently located in regional Victoria, it may help you in securing 491, if not 190. Okay, next question is coming from Sohail Malik Doha. Please show backlog for civil engineering technician. I have 75 points for 491. What are the chances? So civil engineering technician, again, there will be lots of people sitting on that occupation. I can have a quick look. Civil engineering technician, here we go. So civil engineering technician is also eligible for 1892, and you can see the backlog here for 190, and this column shows you for 491. So there are reasonable number of people in civil engineering technician. Okay, guys, enough of this showing you backlogs, because this data is not 100% right. The thumb rule is, what is the thumb rule? Thumb rule is increase your points, especially your English. Superior English, anyone with superior English would have high chances of getting invited for 189 or even 190 and 491, no matter where you are. Superior English and experience, number of years of experience in your nominated occupation or closely related occupation, that is another factor. Okay, so these are some of the factors that you will need to consider. I'm also being joined by Mr. Manjot. He was busy finishing his day's work, so now he's with us. So Manjot will assist me in probably picking some good questions from TikTok as well. So we don't want to let anyone, go. Any questions, leave any good questions. If you pick from there, I would be happy to answer. So at the moment, I'm just taking some questions on YouTube. Sarabjit Kaur, hello sir, 85 points including state points in Melbourne for Master of Business Analytics. Sarab, look, Master of Business Analytics are going to be too competitive. I'm not sure if you are currently working in your nominated occupation or not, but Masters in Business Analytics at 85 points are going to be little tricky while you're living in Melbourne, given we have limited places in Melbourne in this financial year. However, think about applying for 491 while you're living in here. So depending, all these calculations, you make these calculations on the basis of your current visa and how long your current visa is valid for. Okay, so if you have your visa valid for another few months, then that's fine. Maybe 6 or 8 months, you can sit in Melbourne. However, if not, you can also think about doing your EOI for 491, ROI for 491. Okay. All right, so Jay Mainali, I'm not sure what Jay, first name is Jay, working as a service manager in disability care. Is that okay for community worker essay graduate? 75%, 75 points. So service manager, if you are a service manager, if you're a case manager, most of the times it is close to community worker. So it should be fine in terms of your meeting experience requirements for state nomination. But you're also required to meet other state criteria for nomination.
So someone is saying from TikTok, I have a more than 9 years of experience as a procurement officer in Bhutan government skill assessment.
Procurement officer, again, not a skill assessment. If it is a procurement officer, we can think about IML skills assessment,
Yes,
engineer institute
manager.
as a procurement manager. But for managerial level skills assessment, you would be required to show that you were working as a manager. So your jobs and duties are close to a manager. Okay. Yes, a skills assessment can be applied. Okay, in that case. Hi Mohinderji, hope you are doing well. So Rohan Bojwani, after the consultation, my wife achieved a superior score in PT. That's great. Now points are 90 for 491 marketing specialist applied in SA Victoria ACT New South Wales. All the best, Rohan. See, you always need to push yourself to the, push yourself. Only then things will start happening. I can recall I spoke to you, and I spoke to your wife as well briefly during the consultation, and I hope that helped. Now you're sitting on top points, so that's maximum you can do from your side. Now Bhagwan or आपका luck. दोनों चीजें काम
So
करेंगी.
Deep from TikTok is saying, I got 3 years experience as a carpenter in New Zealand. Can you please advise me? What can I do?
So Deep, if you've got 3 years of documented experience from New Zealand as a carpenter, we can apply for your skills assessment through RPL and then offshore skills assessment program from Job Ready from TRA, and it will cost you roughly $8,000 to $10,000, okay, in total, including RPL fees, including TRA fees, including our professional charges. So if you want to discuss that in detail, because as a carpenter, you can get invited for 491, 190, or even 189 from offshore, especially some states.
Yes.
South Australia is also prioritizing carpenters with experience from offshore at least for 12 months. You can get 491. It also depends what is your current visa and all those things. So if you want to discuss it further, please book appointment, and you can do so by visiting our website at www.ems.com.au.
Guri Singh Aujla, Paji Cook the payslip chef the assessment ਲਈ ਚੱਲ ਜੂਗੀ, currently working at a cafe de Ville as a cook.
Sarvajit, I'm gonna pick this question
Yes.
for Sarvajit. 85 points, including state points for 491 in Melbourne for Master of Business Analytics. Any chances? Yes. Now that's a look. That would be for 491. If you are on 85 points for 491, that means for 491 you'll get another 15 points. You'll be sitting on top points. It may work out for you, Sarvajit. Yes. Okay, next question is from Dan Charan. Hi sir, TR is finishing in April 25. We apply ROI in 190 yen in SA. We apply ROI 190 yen. So what is the option for TR? Dan Charan, if you have not discussed it with your migration agent so far, do it now. You need to have alternative option ready right now. Okay, if you don't get invited, what would be your option? Why only 190? Why not think about 491? I always say this to everyone, and in every live show, if you're looking for visa, any visa is better than student visa number 1 and better than employer sponsored visa. 491 is better than employer sponsored visa. 190 is better than employer sponsored visa. 199 is better.
Employer sponsored is better than any visa.
Yeah, employer sponsored visa is the last resort.
Yes.
Okay, so please make sure you weigh your options.
So ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਰ ਗੁਰੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਦਾ।
ਗੁਰੀ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ?
ਗੁਰੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੁੱਕ ਦੀ ਪੇ ਸਲਿੱਪ ਆ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੈਫ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਚੱਲ ਜੂਗੀ। ਇਹਦਾ ਆਨਸਰ ਵੈਸੇ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਆ।
Of course, because it is not at the appropriate skill level. अगर कुक ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ, then you should not claim that experience, because there are high chances.
experience ਸ਼ੈਫ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੈਫ ਦੇ ਰੋਲ ਨਿਭਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਜੌਬ ਐਂਡ ਡਿਊਟੀਆਂ ਮੈਚ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ।
ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਨਾ, what
ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਵੀ
ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਪਰਪਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ
ਹੋ,
ਹੈ ਨਾ।
ਯੈਸ,
depend karda. Agar skill assessment OSAT di jariye use kare, that could be a slightly different situation. But if he's trying to use that experience of cook for justifying or claiming points as a chef in their expression of interest, where he's getting 5 or 10 points, then it is very risky.
Yes, of course. I hope you understand, Guri. So we have got a question from Technical Milan on a YouTube. Sir, I am finishing Master in IT in New South Wales this year, and I want to move Tasmania for PR. Which graduate diploma course should I study, and any PR pathway recommendations?
Technical Milan, this is the high time for you to seek assistance from a registered migration agent who is honest, who is ethical, and who is transparent. So, you can find one in your locality, but if you want to discuss it with me, please head to my website and book time. I need to know what is your interest, what are your interests, your financial situation. Look, don't move to Tasmania because many of your friends are living there. Don't move to Tasmania because you heard someone saying that Tasmania is good for PR. Don't move to Tasmania because your family or your uncle or aunt is suggesting you. Please take professional help. Discuss your profile. What are your strengths? What is the level of your English, financial capacity? How long your
It's not just a one-word recommendation. Yeah. It's a big consultation. So we have to deal with your whole scenario, that what you have done in before. So what are you doing and what's your scenario? So on
what
that
exactly
basis,
you want to achieve.
Yes, on that basis, so Mohinder sir can consult something, give advice to you.
Okay, so production engineer, plant and production engineer, I would have a quick look because I have vested interests on this occupation.
Production.
Do you know why vested interest? Can anyone guess? Plant engineer. I think that's production and plant engineer. I'll just search plant engineer. Yeah.
Production.
So I've got vested interests in production and plant engineer. I'm just using this terminology because I've got my brother. He's a Norwegian citizen and he is also looking to come to Australia, and he's also a production and plant engineer. Okay. We've been trying to figure out the best possible pathways for him, but you can have a look. For 189, we have over 1,000 expression of interest as a production and plant engineer. Lots of people are sitting on 80, 90, and 95 points. So unless you are on 95 points, I don't see you'll have any chance of getting invited for 189. And because most of those people who are sitting on sitting and have their EYs for 189 are also waiting for 491 and 190 and 491s as well. So if you talk about South Australia, we have 408, 408 EOIs for 190 in South Australia, 437 for 190, so 491. So similar is the scenario with all other states. So lots of people have applied because it's such a generic and open kind of engineering occupation. Lots of people can get that skills assessment. That's why those numbers are very, very high. So for 189, unless you have 95 or higher points, you got no chance. And for 190 and 491, you have relatively better chance if you have say 85 or 90 your own points.
So Guacamole was saying is saying from TikTok, so please help AAT for COE breach. How can I help to get a good results?
So Guacamole, sir, please help 80 for COE breach. How can I help to get good results? So Guacamole, if you need assistance for 80, if you have already lodged your file in 80, but you're not sure how you can make your case stronger, I really cannot comment much on this. So you would be required to book consultation, and you can do so by visiting our website at www.ems.com.au. Okay. Manjot Singh has a follow-up question. Manjot, are you asking a question there as well?
No, I'm not.
So what is the status of food technologist in South Australia? Can you please show the data? I'm on 85 points for 190. What are the scope? Visa expired in Feb 25. So Manjot, you seem to be pretty good to me. Food technologist is a very good occupation as such. I think it won't be too competitive. And you are sitting on very good points as well. So let me just have a quick look. In South Australia, we only have 189 people, and I think at 85 point and more, you won't have these many in South Australia because that data is collective. So I believe if you have say 189 for 190 in South Australia, you may only have like 50 or 60 people, and in among them as well, you'll be sitting at higher points. So you would be at 90 points in total. So seems to be pretty good to me. But what I would recommend you, if you're working in a good organization, if they're happy to assist you and talk to you about employer sponsored visa, get that ready as well. Explore all the options. Okay.
Yes, because your visa is expiring in
or wait for maybe 1 month or so, and then if not, withdraw your ROI, do for 491. You may have better chances for 491. We don't know. No one knows how they work. These are just predictions. Your occupation is good. Your points are good. If you are currently working in the nominated occupation, you can also explore other options too in employer-sponsored visa category, and get that ready too. If you don't get invited, so at least you have some option to go to if you don't get invited. Okay.
Yes.
All right, guys, we continue to take questions on all platforms. If you guys are watching our live show for the first time, I would love to introduce myself to all of you. My name is Mahinder Singh, and I'm a registered migration agent. We are based in Adelaide, South Australia.
And my name is Manjot, and I'm education counselor in Endeavour Education and Migration. So we deal all sort of visas, education queries, course change. So in terms of visa, if we talk about parent visas, tourist visas, partner visas, student visas, temporary resident visas, all. So yes,
just GSM, General Skilled Migration, 189, 491, 190. And we also do employer-sponsored visas, DAMA labor agreement, and all that, skills assessments. So if you have any migration-related question, we are here to help. you would be required to book consultation to discuss your profile with me. So during the consultation, you will have opportunity to clarify all the questions, and it will give us opportunity to understand your scenario and advise you in the right direction. We believe in honest, ethical, and transparent migration practice. So if you work with one of with us as a team, we will try to figure out the best possible pathways for you. Okay. So we'll continue to answer your questions.
So Emmanuel is saying, is it compulsory to do IELTS test before you apply for a PR in Australia?
Absolutely, Manon. You are required to have minimum of 6 each bands. That's the Department of Home Affairs requirement to have competent English before you can apply for any skilled visa in Australia in the category of general skilled migration. Okay. However, if you have a passport of certain countries such as the UK, the US, Canada, New Zealand, and obviously Australian won't apply for visa. If you have these passport, then you are not required to do English, even competent English. Okay, so but anyone else would be required to do English for their permanent residency. Okay, however, the English requirements are relatively lower. Not only six each, they are less as well for employer sponsored visa. So it all depends upon the visa subclass you're going for. Maddie Adhikari, I applied 482 a week ago. Can I eligible for 19491 in Victoria? Absolutely. As long as you hold a bridging visa A, if you have applied for 482 visa, if you currently hold a bridging visa A for 482 application makes you eligible to apply for subclass of 491 in Victoria as well. Maddie, if you need to discuss your option, please reach out to us. The best would be to book consultation and we can take it from there. Kajal Nehra is asking 190 Victoria ICT business analyst 95 plus 5 salary 70k skilled partner 8 each waiting for reply. Kajal, look, your profile is pretty good. I wish I was the person who was giving invites. Your profile looks pretty good to me. Okay, but my recommendation to you would be, if your visa is running out soon, think about doing EU ROI for 491 if your visa is running out soon. So you don't have to go to other visa or employer sponsored visa. But if you want to be persistent with your application for 190, then I would recommend you to explore employer sponsored visa pathways as well to keep you in Australia if your visa is running out soon and if you want to continue to keep your ROI for 190. Okay.
Yes, so we are getting to the new messages.
All right, guys, if you guys are watching us live, because we have started taking all the questions there, so the number of viewers on Facebook and YouTube, they are falling. So guys, we're gonna let go our Facebook and YouTube now. Okay, so we'll come back on these platforms on next Friday as usual, and what we continue to answer your questions on.
And if someone wants to contact us, so you can book an appointment on www.eems.com.au. So our company name is Endeavour Education and Migration Service. We are based in Adelaide.
Okay, so Sham Rider is asking how you can contact us. So Sham, I have displayed on the screen eems.com.au. This is our website. You have the phone number there. You have email there as well, and you can book appointment with us from this website. Okay, all the best, guys. We'll continue to answer questions on TikTok.
So being humble is saying, sir, which regional state consider 20 hours